information.
Now, keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
WOCA
AM 1370.
96.3.
96.3.
1370 WOCA. Ocala's information station. 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Monday morning. It's looking a little bit more sunny than I think we thought it would be. The weatherman made us believe it was going to be raining all day, and now it's starting to clear up a little bit. Anyway, if I could thank somebody, like, how when you are a real fan of like a singer or an actor or something, and then you have a chance to meet them, and you don't know what to say because you don't really know them. You feel like you know them. I've often thought that probably the most appropriate thing to say to them is just, I want to thank you for the body of work you've done, because it's been a real joy getting to watch you in the movies or listening to you in the songs, and I would do the same thing with some of the authors, especially some of the authors who have written books for the young people, and specifically for my son when he was younger. I have such joyful and great memories of the books that my son read when he was younger, and sharing those books with him, and when he was really younger, some of the books that I literally read the whole book to him, and then when he got older, he would be more likely to read on his own. In fact, he always did. We have some books right here that would fit right in that same category. Angela Spady is on the phone. She is a very talented writer. She's got a series of books called the Channing O'Banning series, I think. We've got a couple of books that talk about the Turquoise Trail and the Rainforest Rescue. Angela is an award-winning teacher. She's a curriculum author. Her innovative teaching techniques have been featured on PBS and in the Kentucky Teacher magazine. I guess that's what that means, right? Mm-hmm. She's a noted advocate for encouraging art and self-expression among children. And she's on the phone right now to talk to us about all of the above. Good morning, Angela. How are you?
I'm great. Good morning. Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for what you're doing. You might not realize it's such an important part in our lives, the work that you do and those who do what you do. So thank you for doing it.
Thank you so much. It's been a passion of mine for a long time, ever since I had children as well. And, I had kids who were little artists, and they were always wanting to express themselves, but yet... Really? When it came to finding characters and books that they could relate to that were actually, good, wholesome characters that they could actually look up to, it was hard to find books like that.
So you wrote your own.
I did, and that's how the whole thing got started. And, I never dreamed that I would be sitting here talking to you this morning. I thought they would be just stories that I read to my children to inspire them. And just yesterday I received an email from a child in Washington who said, "I'm just like Channing O'Banning, and thank you for giving me her."
That's a cool name, too.
Yeah, well, thank you. And it was just so touching, and so it's been definitely a labor of love, and I enjoy every word I write. I really do.
Isn't that great, though, when you get that kind of feedback from a reader, just to thank you. I've often thought, and this is probably out of the realm of what we're talking about, but I've often thought, that if you ever get a chance to meet God, like when I die, and I get to shake his hand, I doubt that this is going to happen, but but can I thank, of all the things you did for me, thank you for letting me be a dad. It is the most important thing in my whole life, is the fact that I'm a dad, and right now my son is 20. He's 29, but he's still my baby, But
exactly, I totally understand. I have a 24-year-old, and the real Channing, Channing O'Banning is based off of my real daughter named Channing, and she's now 19. And so when I visit schools all the time, they want to ask about the real Channing, and it's like you said, as a parent, you're so proud of your child, and then it's a huge responsibility as well. And so now with the Channing O'Banning books, not only do I feel a big responsibility as a parent, but my daughter she feels a big responsibility as well.
Are you still teaching?
About her.
Are you still teaching?
I'm not. I am not. It's actually a kind of a crazy story. I was a teacher for 14 years. I taught art and history, and then I actually worked for Pfizer Pharmaceuticals in marketing. And on my way to work one day, I was rear-ended by a tractor trailer.
Oh my goodness!
Truck,
oh my goodness!
And was very, very ill for many years. I had a spinal cord stimulator in my spinal cord. It was terrible. I was ready to really give up on things, and just thought, God, why are you doing this? I'm at the top of my career, and everything is falling apart. And my husband found my stories that I had written my daughters in the attic in a shoebox. They were written on a yellow notepad. And he comes out of the attic and says, I'm tired of you feeling sorry for yourself. You have a mission, and I think it's these books. And if I hadn't found those, I would not be here talking to you right now.
That
is never know.
And so, so he did his decision to be forceful with you like that. Change your relationship for the better? I'm hoping it was a better.
I think it made me realize he was always there to support me, and maybe some days I didn't see that. I didn't want to see that. I kept thinking, I know more about my future than you do, and my future is dim, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'm going to be confined to this sofa the rest of my life. He's like, no more of that.
Well, good for you.
So it's been great.
I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what made me think of it a few weeks ago, but I was thinking about a book that was written by one of the teachers when I was in elementary school, which would have been the 1960s. And I thought, I wonder if the book is on Amazon, just by chance. I mean, it's far-fetched. Right. It's far-fetched, but let me look. And sure enough, it was there. Okay, so I right-clicked it or whatever you call it, and I downloaded the picture of the cover of the book, and there's a Facebook page. I don't want to bore you with this, but there's a Facebook page that somebody from my old elementary school put it together, just for people who went to that school. And so I never go to this Facebook page. I know it exists, but I really don't go there. But anyway, so I went there and I posted the picture and I said, how many of you remember this book? And let me tell you something. There must be thousands of people that so far have remembered this book, this teacher, and somebody even posted a picture of the teacher because she's still alive today.
Oh my goodness, pretty amazing. How awesome.
Yeah, and I'm hoping word got back to her that something she did with her imagination all those years ago, similar to the Channing O'Banny books, has affected us as adults. I mean, as older adults. Yeah.
That is, well, I had a kind of similar story happen to me when I wrote the Channing O'Banny and the Rainforest Rescue book. I get an email from a lady who wants to know if I do author visits, and I go all over the country, including Florida, and visit schools all the time, and we talk about the importance of, being an individual and expressing yourself through art. But anyway, she emails me and says, will you come to our school? And she said, I love everything about the rainforest. And I was like, sure, great. And when I was teaching, I used to actually build a rainforest in my classroom for the students to learn about the rainforest. And, their desks were among the trees, and it was just so much fun, and they learned so much. So I walk in the door to this library, and I look at this girl, and she looks at me. She doesn't remember me as a Spady because that wasn't my last name at that time. I did not remember her at her last name because she was married, because it was many years before that. And she looks at me and she was like, Angie? And I couldn't believe I was seeing one of my former students. And she started just crying in front of her own students in the library. And she said, this is the lady that made me fall in love with the rainforest, and why I wanted you guys to read about Channing O'Banny and the Rainforest Rescue, and I had no idea it was my teacher.
That is really a cool story. Oh, wow.
This is such a wonderful series of books because it makes the person that's reading the book more aware of their surroundings. There was a scene in the Rainforest Rescue book where they went to a Mexican restaurant, and the uncle's saying, "Ooh, I hope they like the food," but while they're there, they notice other things, and they have questions, and they ask the questions about it.
Wow.
Exactly.
Angela, we need.
I really hope, learning is so important, as a teacher.
Angela, we need to take a little break, and
Sure.
I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but let's take a little break, catch up on the weather, and we'll be right back. Angela Spady continues after the break with the Channing O'Banning books. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, intervals of clouds and sun with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm around, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. Watch for localized flooding. The high today 84 to 88. Mostly cloudy later tonight, low 72 to 76. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm or two, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. Tomorrow's high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood, and when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then, I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is a place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs, proud sponsor of Friday night Marion County High School football on WOCA, The Source.
12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. And on the phone is Angela Spady. She has written a delightful series of children's books called the Channing O'Banning series. We've got two of them here, Channing O'Banning and the Rainforest Rescue and Channing O'Banning and Turquoise Trail. Turquoise is, when they ask you what's your favorite color, that's always my favorite color.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Say it is.
My son, Angela, when he got married, he and his wife honeymooned in Costa Rica, and your book takes place in Costa Rica.
It does. We're big bird watchers, actually. So we went to Costa Rica, actually bird watching, and the real Channing actually accompanied us, and it was a great adventure. So many times when I write, it's based on true events that occurred, and so the Turquoise Trail is no exception. I actually moved from Kentucky to outside Santa Fe, New Mexico last year. And so there's definitely not enough books written for children to appreciate the Native American culture. And so that's kind of why I wrote that one as well. So I'm always trying to, write books that kids can have fun and relate to, but they can learn something. And I think there's enough books out there about, brats and bullies and, just all kinds of crazy characters. And, of course, we need imaginative things like that, but I think kids now more than ever need characters that they can look up to. I really do.
So how many are there? How many books are there so far?
Well, I've actually written 8 manuscripts of the series, but the first 2 came out in May, and
Oh, this is new.
It is new, and so I have another book series for tweens, and it's called The Desperate Diva Diaries, about a little girl who is 12, and she's a fashion diva, but she usually realizes it's not all it's cracked up to be, and there's more to being who you are on the inside. And that series is actually illustrated by the real Channing O'Banning.
Oh, really?
So
Nice.
it is. So it's been a mother-daughter adventure that we've been on, and we just never ever would have dreamt this would have occurred. So we're just enjoying it and very thankful.
I like the fact how you get real personal in your Channing O'Banning books. The one in the Turquoise Trail, Channing was doing sketches, and then the dad asked to see him, and then she's like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm really that good. Should I really show it to everybody? And that really is an issue, a real life issue with people. To share your talent.
I totally agree, and especially for young children. And it's sad because we know when we're young that we all love art. We all love expressing ourselves, and deep down we kind of have a feeling of who we are, but yet we're afraid to express that as we get older. And I see that all the time with students who enjoy art. And Picasso, I think it was, said we're all artists as kids. The problem is remaining an artist when we grow up.
Yeah, right.
We forget how to do that. We forget. And
Right.
so that's another reason I'm writing is, hoping kids that will remember that, don't ever stop that creativity and never be ashamed of it.
So
never be ashamed of that.
This has got to be a very exciting time for you. The books came out in May. This is only July. And so the books that were discovered in the attic that you had forgotten about, or the manuscripts, I should say, I'm guessing that's just the beginning. Are you currently writing more new ones?
I am. I'm actually in the middle of writing one about Japan, and it's going to be. It's already starting out really hilarious, and then I'm writing another one called The Pet Show Panic, in which she has a pet show at her school, and you can imagine all the pets get loose, and it's just utter chaos. So I'm working on that one. I'm working on this other series I also have out for tweens. And then I'm also working on a parenting book about raising young daughters in a very stressful world. So we'll see how it goes.
I like how you have a signature piece for Channing. I think that's very clever.
Well, thank you. The pencil and the ponytail, I'm assuming, is what you're talking about,
yes.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because when I first started promoting the books, it was before school had gone out in May, and kids had already read the book, of course, because it's on Amazon, and many of the kids had read them, or schools had already ordered sets of them to use in the classroom. And you can imagine the look on my face when a kid walks in and they've already got their pencil in their ponytail. It's the cutest thing. And they all want to show me their artwork, or they tell me they're going to be an artist when they grow up. And you see kids in the mall with, Channing O'Banning pencils in their ponytail. And it's just, I will admit, I cried the first time I saw one, because I thought, if I never do another thing, if I've inspired one kid to draw, that's a good thing.
And that's a good title for another book, The Pencil and the Ponytail.
That is very true. That is very true.
I just went to your website, and forgive me for being a man, but you are cute. So, okay.
Well, thank you very much.
So, not to be distracted by that, but so the website is the website where I would go to buy the book, or do I go to Amazon? Where do I go?
You can easily go to ChanningO'Banning.com, like the website you're on, and you can click on books, and it will show you links that you can order the book.
This is a nicely done website. This is a really nice website.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And there's an art tab that kids can get on, and they can doodle and have fun doodling and using their creativity. And I can see those doodles, from my end.
Oh, really?
Respond to them. I can, they can send emails to me and ask me any kind of questions, and I always respond back. So It's a lot of fun with that because I love meeting kids. That's my favorite part of this job.
And one of the most wonderful things about that is that when you do those talks and presentations to the children, you allow them to ask questions and you allow them to talk among themselves. You do not tell them, don't say a word as some other adults might.
You're exactly right. I mean, that's the creative process. It has to be two-way communication. And so, they always have a lot of questions for me, especially when they find out the character's a real girl. And so, it's a big interactive session. We do an art activity. I talk with the teachers because I was a teacher. I wrote curriculum units that go with each book that I give away free to the teachers because I'm definitely one of them, and I understand. And they've taken art out of so many classrooms across this country, which is unbelievable to me. And so, teachers are frustrated because they know how important art is, and yet, they have higher up saying, we can't teach that anymore. And it blows my mind that they don't do that.
Absolutely. So tell me, how old is Channing now?
Channing is actually 19. She is a student at the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. And so she is actually a clinical psychology major to work with children.
Oh, wow. And so she will be teaching those children that she is... Where did the O'Banning part come from? Where did O'Banning come from?
Well, if you were talking about it, you will remember being in the 60s, so I totally do as well. So if you remember, there used to be a song out... I can't remember the first.
Oh, Banana Fofana?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I would sing that to her when she was little, and bounce her on my knee and sing, Channing, 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 oh, Banning, 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 so Banning, so Channing.
Oh, that is
she
great.
Would just squeal. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to call the character that. And it's been a really catchy thing. And so it's just all, I'm telling you, it's surreal. It's surreal.
I just doodled on your page. I'll say I'm going to send it to you.
There you go. Wonderful. I can't wait to see it.
Okay. Mine says have fun. Oh, I got to put my name in here? All right.
Okay.
All right. I put Larry on the radio. Larry on the radio. That's who did that for you. And my title is have fun. My URL. I don't have a URL. Just say thank you. Thank you. All right. So...
Super. I'm so glad you're on there.
I'm not the only adult who's going to do this. You might think it's all kids doing it, but all right, these are really great books. Actually, Angela sent us two books. Mm-hmm. I like the design. I'm guessing they all have the same kind of a theme. They all look like those
composition books.
Yeah, composition notebooks.
Absolutely, exactly. Exactly. And go ahead.
So I was just going to say the website is really delightful. I mean, just go to the website and you'll fall in love right away. How are you doing physically? How are you?
Well, there's some days I'm not able to write, to be quite honest. I have a disease called RSD, which is reflex sympathetic dystrophy. So I have a lot of pain in my right arm and right leg. So there's days that it's really hard. There's days I have to push through that and realize, I can get through this today. There's a lot of people that actually know my story through just visiting schools who, say, we look up to you just because we've had pain issues as well, and people don't understand how difficult that is, but yet you don't give up. And I've never been one to give up, and so I almost did if it wasn't for my husband. But it's made me more determined than ever to realize it can't define who I am. That's not the Angie that everyone knew, and I've just got to work through it. And
good
it's
for
scary
you.
Sometimes, but you got to do it. I got to be an example too to my kids.
You're an inspiration in more than one way. So I have two books here. I'd like to give it away. These are delightful for some child that there was going to love these. Call me if you want the two that I have, and you get Channing O'Banning and the Turquoise Trail and Channing O'Banning and the Rainforest Rescue. So let me give these away, and then we'll repeat how you can go buy one because I can't give everybody a copy. Good morning. You've got the books. I've got. Who's this?
Hi, this is Janet.
Janet, you got the books.
Well, thank you so much, okay?
Thank you, Janet. Angela, okay, so we gave out the website, ChanningO'Banning.com. It's spelled exactly as it sounds. Are the books out elsewhere?
They are. They're they can go on Barnes and Noble, Amazon, any of the book websites. You can order the books, and they're in a lot of bookstores as well, like Lifeway, Christian bookstores, just a lot of bookstore chains.
Oh, excellent!
You can find the books easily, as well as the Desperate Diva Diaries. You can find those anywhere as
Thank you, Angela. Come back anytime, and you're always welcome here. What a delightful conversation. We'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Joe Chiaro. President Obama meeting with Ethiopia's Prime Minister this morning.
President Obama's visit represents a new height in our bilateral relations.
The two leaders discussing a range of topics, including terrorism. President Obama also taking time to mention the debate on the Iran nuclear deal.
Try to get a good